To be here with you at Flint's premier awards gala for the 10th annual Unsung Hero Awards, and you ought to make some more noise for that tonight. To the amazing honorees, and of course to our mistress of ceremony, Ms. Martin, in the midst of this auspicious celebration and occasion, we have to pause to remember the life, the legacy, and the leadership of Mother Yvonne Price. Yes. The legacy of Mother Yvonne Price's vision is absolutely priceless, and we are sitting in the midst of her vision tonight. So much so that this memorial foundation is named in her honor, with the mission to promote lifelong learning through the provision of college scholarships. My dear brothers and sisters, these days there's so much bad news from your TV screen to your phone screen. It's enough to make you want to scream. From Bill Cosby to P. Diddy, I can't get nobody talking to me. And so day by day we are inundated with breaking news discovering that sadly many of the people who we thought were heroes were really disguised as villains all along. And you ought to be grateful and glad tonight that God allowed you to sit next to a leader tonight. You ought to be grateful and glad that God allowed you to sit next to a hero who can lead you with love and lift you with love to the next level. You're not seated next to a villain, you're sitting next to a hero. Why don't you just celebrate the hero who's sitting next to you? I'm so grateful that two of my students are here, one of which is receiving an award tonight, and I'm going to read Tim King and Sarah. We are in church, but we're not in church, but just nudge your neighbor and tell them how much they owe you for allowing them to sit next to you. Come on, tell them you owe me $50, you owe me $100. As a down payment on your tithe and offering, you better recognize who you sit next to. You may not want to embrace me, but you can't repeal and replace me. I'm a blessing to somebody, even if it's to myself. Or you just want to tap yourself and say, I'm a giver. Everybody in here tonight is a red box and a go-go. You are a gift to the greater community of Flint, and you are to the larger part of this world. My hometown is Motown. And so I greet you. Yes. I greet you with the words of what we say in Detroit on the east side and the west side. What up, y'all? Can I get somebody to say it? All right, I feel a little more comfortable. I know the elephant in the room tonight is my bearded baby face, so I'll tell you my age. I'm older than Michael B. Jordan, younger than Michael Jordan. I'm older than James Smith, younger than Will Smith. Y'all know life don't crack. Brown age, no age, 10 not playing, and life can be right. I think I got everybody in the house tonight. Briefly, I want to stretch the elasticity of your thinking by using as a topic entitled, The Heart of a Hero. That's what I want to talk about tonight. The heart of a hero. Steve Jobs, one of the originators of Mac computers and the iPhone, said if you want everybody to like you, Don't be a leader. Just sell ice cream. And I'm sure there are certain people who will still dislike you based on a particular flavor that they don't agree with. Certain people don't like you because of God's favor on your life. Your favor has a particular flavor, and it's not for everybody. Here's the thing about heroes. Heroes are not people pleasers, because if you try to please everybody, you end up pleasing nobody. Rather than being people pleasers, heroes are courageous enough to be leaders first by leading themselves. No, they are not selfish, but rather they are selfless. Simply because leaders have imbibed the notion that it's not about me, it's about me. It's not about I, it's about us. Being a hero is hard work, simply because being a hero is hard work. And here it is, hard work is heroic. Too many people confuse being a hero with being a celebrity. Too many people would rather be popular than powerful. They would rather be celebrated than to be dedicated. They would rather seek applause rather than roll up their sleeves for a dynamic purpose and cause. Dr. Cornell West pointed and put it this way, he declared, you can't save the people if you won't serve the people. And you surely can't lead the people if you won't learn the people. Simply because a hero is self-aware. They possess the ingredients of emotional, relational, and spiritual intelligence. Essentially, they are servant leaders. You got to understand something tonight, that servant leadership is more concerned about reconciliation and recognition. Servant leadership is more concerned about a reward than awards. The heroic cause must be that if I can help somebody as I travel along, then my giving shall not be in vain. Dr. King declared, everybody can be great simply because everybody and anybody can serve. Everybody can be great because anybody can serve. You only need a heart full of grace and a soul generated by love. It is a heart of grace, a soul of love, and a mind to serve is that which will transform our communities. Why, you ask? Simply because the greatest leader is a servant leader. And that's why we're here to give you a sincere salute tonight to heroes like you who have enough heart to be heroic. Got enough heart to be a hero. The power of serving and leading has to be a calling, formal education, accolades, success, money, and having more degrees than a thermometer is not the litmus test of leadership. The substantive framework is through the foundation of servitude, simply because Scripture declares, he that is greatest among you shall be your servant. It is the essence of greatness. It is the essence of servitude and leadership, which says it is more about not just having a title or a position, because leadership is a function. As I look around this room tonight, I can clearly see that we are the superheroes that we need to look for. You got to realize that tonight that nobody is coming to save us. We have to save us. My dear brothers and sisters, there's a gloom that hangs over this grand gala tonight. Yes, it's the 10th anniversary of this grand gala, but it also marks 10 years since the Flint water crisis. And the looming question tonight is, where do we go from here? 10 years later, and still no convictions of criminal charges. Where do we go from here? Is there not a cause? How do we grapple with a seemingly never-ending nightmare? It's been 10 years, and our brothers and sisters still feel abandoned. 10 years, and they're still feeling the effects of lead poisoning in their water, which is a basic human necessity. And more than ever before, we need a new Genesis in Genesee County. How will we lead when our children children suffering due to lead poison? Is there not a cause when 70% of our children are growing up in poverty? The unemployment rate is higher than the national average. Is there not a cause when 1 in 5 Flint residents have poor mental health? Where do we go from here? What will we do to come together to care for the least, the last, the lost, the left out, the overlooked, the underserved, and the underrepresented? Because tonight is about more than you just having your nail done, hair done, everything did. You fancy, huh? Tonight is about more than you just being G'd up on the feet up. Tonight is about more than you in many cases, being able to have everything that you have, but it is about you caring for those who in many cases have been discarded in our communities. About having more than just your hair ripped and fried down and laid to the side. The question is, what act of heroism, what heroic act will we undertake? We must address the pain points of poverty and the paralyzing predicament that prevents our people from having access to clean water. Here's what we want. We want environmental justice. Why? Because no justice. I wish I had somebody who really believed that. No justice. We want environmental justice because we can't have peace when our people are poisoned. We can't have peace. We must remain poised even in the midst of our people being poisoned. We must not flinch. We must remain fierce on the front lines in Flint. Your commitment and your courage to be different makes a difference. I know how you're feeling because you're overworked and underrested. You underpromise but overdeliver. You're underpaid. You're grappling with overhead that's on top of your head. You may be undervalued, overlooked, underserved, and underrepresented. But here's what you'll never be. You'll never be undermined. Simply because the ultimate measure of a hero is not where they stand in moments of comfort and convenience, but where they stand in times of challenge and controversy. Sadly, in these years in the United States of America, we like our heroes dead. When our heroes are alive, we tear them down by running their names through the street. And then when they're dead, what we do is we name the street after them. I wish I had somebody talking to me. Dr. King didn't achieve heights of fame and popularity until he was taken off the scene. He wasn't seen as a saint until he was killed. We like dead heroes. The dead can't make us sound. The dead can't challenge us to do something more with the more that we have. We prefer monuments over movements. We would rather verbalize and memorize quotes from those who have gone on than to maximize our lives like the servant leader heroes who live by the credo that service is the rent we pay for the space we occupy. I believe I'm talking to some living heroes tonight. The question becomes, how do you respond to life's interruptions? Many of us react, but how will you respond? We become thermometers, but not thermostats. We would rather reflect the temperature of our situation rather than setting the atmosphere, the temperature of the environment with an attitude of gratitude. Despite pain, we can still be empowered. Despite struggle, there is strength. Despite obstacles, this is our opportunity to overcome. Because you indeed have found beauty through pain. You found wisdom from your wounds and you live through dying places. As a superhero, I know you have an S on your chest, but it doesn't always mean that you're strong. The S doesn't always mean that you're stable and a survivor. Sometimes the S on your chest means that you're sad, means that you're sensitive, means that you're scarred, means that you're scared, means that you're struggling and even suffering in silence. But tonight, you're surrounded by teammates. You're surrounded by teammates who will bring out the best. They'll bring out the best and the blessed in you to empower you to grow through what you go through. Why? me, all of a sudden, a noise erupted. And I frantically looked around to find that the little girl had dropped cans of food. Immediately, the little girl's mother unhappily looked down at her daughter. And right before the mother said a mumbling word, the little girl looked at her mother, shrugged her shoulders, and said, "It's what's inside that counts." To you, that may not mean anything, but to me, it meant everything. Simply because so many times people have dropped us. So many times we have dropped what it is that we should have held on to. But the words of the little girl ought to remind you that it's what's inside of you that counts too. I know your circumstance may have dropped you to your knees, but it puts you in the perfect position to pray. Why? Because here it is, if you can look up, you can get up. I know people dropped you. They gave up on you. Folks wrote your eulogy and your epitaph and even left you for dead, but look at how you brushed your shoulders off. Look at how you shrugged your shoulders and how you kept fighting, and now you live in dying places. Need you hear me? It's the determination, it's the never quit, can't give up, heroic heart, crying but conquering mentality that's inside of you that counts too. Like that little girl in that grocery store, you ought to shrug your shoulders in the face of every naysayer and hater. You ought to do it to use the negativity as an elevator and an escalator to go higher. You ought to shrug your shoulders tonight in the face of every debilitating doubter and tell yourself, no one and nothing can stop me because I've got God's strength inside of me. Simply because we're often called on to be the most heroic during our greatest hardship. Every second American, 2 to 3 people are diagnosed with cancer. 1 in every 1,000 teenagers is diagnosed, and I was one of them. Just like you, I'm a living witness that our lives can change in a matter of seconds at the snap of a finger. And these startling statistics remind us of life's harsh realities. Once you close your eyes and imagine someone who knew that you were fighting for your life walked up to you one day and said these words, "I thought she died." Shocking, right? Disturbing. Totally insensitive. So much so that you popped open your eyes. Well, those were the exact same words that God said to me some years ago, and for lack of a better word, I was furious, y'all. Y'all was going to have to pray for me in that moment because I was so angry. Listen, y'all, I was getting ready to have a Will Smith, Chris Rock moment. I wasn't going to be Chris. We were in Detroit, don't let the smooth suit fool you now. We were in Detroit, so I expected them to at least say, "What up, though?" I didn't even get that. His words produced the same pain in my chest when I was struggling to breathe as a teenager. Ultimately being diagnosed with NHL. Now for me, NHL stood for National Hockey League. I said, I'm getting ready to be the youngest owner of the Detroit Red Wings, but no, NHL stood for non-Hodgkin lymphoma. I said, "Doc, my first language is Ebonics. I'm still trying to speak English. What do you mean?" He said, "You've been diagnosed with not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4. I felt my pockets to find $4. And he said, "You've been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer." I'm a living witness, and I can tell you, in the midst of us as men, boys becoming men, how tough it is for us. Cancer made me cry. But it didn't make me good. Listen to me watching the color on the screen here. I tell you, just like Sophia, all my life, I had to fight. We got some fighters in here. You walk through the sun, you walk through the rain, you walk through the trial and pain. You don't look like what you've been through. But you can say your testimony, your misery is ministry, your mess is a message. Your stumbling block is a stepping stone, and what God will do is He will use your setback as a setup for your greatest comeback. Somebody know that God will turn your tragedy into strength. He'll turn your grief into grace. People are often praying for me, but literally praying on me. Sitting on the sideline expecting my demise. Receiving chemotherapy and radiation. singing song would say, Father, I stretch my hands to you. And I got a heavenly Father. One to give up, one to quit, one to throw in the towel. Very few people thought I would make it. But by the grace of God, I stand before you tonight. As the 24 years survive, 2024 marks 24 years. Nothing but the grace of God. I stand before you tonight as an author of 16 books. I stand before you as the founder of the mentoring and literacy program, Boys Who Books. I stand before you as the President's Volunteer Service Award and Lifetime Achievement Award honoree from the White House. I stand before you as an international speaker and a servant leader who gives back and empowers brothers and sisters like you to move forward. And so I just drove up from Detroit to tell you, Flint don't flounder. Flint don't fall. Flint don't flinch. Flint remain fierce in the face of fear. Quit, stop. But you gotta keep on keeping on. You gotta keep on fighting. Don't ever give up. Forever look up. Forward ever, backward never. Don't let doubters, cynics, critics, and skeptics put a period where God placed the comma. Because as long as you have a pulse, you have a purpose. And you have been chosen to be a change agent. You are an unsung hero who has been chosen to be a trendsetter, a trailblazer, an innovator, a dominator, a mover and a shaker, a record breaker and a history maker. It's time to do what's never been done before. It's time to go where no one has ever gone before. And that's why tonight, at this Unsung Heroes Award celebration, we sing the praises of unsung heroes like you. Tonight, as I'm humbled and honored to be your keynote, I'm encouraging you to find your note. Yeah, I want you to find your note so you can sing when the world wants to shut you up. Too often we have adopted and we have chosen selective mutism due to the fact that situations have silenced us. We refuse to speak up and speak out. And as a consequence, our silence becomes violence. We remain unsung because we won't sing. And it's due to the abuse that she experienced and internal vitriolic rage she harbored. The one and only Maya Angelou was at one time a cage bird who didn't sing. It's because of her horrific hardship that she didn't speak for 5 years from ages 8 to 13. And I came to ask you tonight, at what age did you stop speaking truth to power? At what age did you select to be silent? What genius is trapped inside of you that you still haven't given birth to? What genius is trapped within you to where you decided to harbor heroism in your heart? It takes courage to be a hero who speaks from the heart, simply because great things don't come to those who wait, but rather they come to those who agitate. What will you do, my dear brothers and sisters, to agitate the system and speak truth to power? Because tonight, whether you sing on key or off key, I hope you sing. Whether you sing notes as high as Minnie Riperton or as low as Barry White, I hope you sing tonight. Even if you like T-Pain and you need auto-tune, I hope you sing. As a hero unsung, I hope you sing. Don't let anybody mute your music. Don't let anybody pause your poetry. Don't let anybody invalidate your ideas. Cancer couldn't mute me. A water crisis couldn't destroy you. I know why the cage bird sings. I'm an unsung hero, but I sing because I'm happy. Because I'm free. His eye is on the sparrow, and that's the reason why I sing. Tonight you're not someone who is tolerated, you're a hero that is celebrated. You ought to just put your hand over your heart tonight. I want you to feel the beat, I want you to feel the rhythm. Simply because you got the heart of the hero. You got the heart of a savior who's a hero, who sacrificed his life so you could care for the least, the last, the lost, the left out, overlooked, the underserved, and the underrepresented. You come from heroes. Don't let anybody make you see yourself as a villain. You come from a chosen generation of unsung heroes who bloomed when they were planted. And so lift every voice and sing tonight, because there's a king inside of you, brother. There's a queen inside of you, my sister. I just stopped by and just give you some words of endearment and encouragement. I'm out of time, but I'm not out of truth. But I want you to know tonight, greatness flows through you, as Kendrick Lamar would say. We're going to be all right because you got loyalty, you got royalty inside your DNA. So mount up with wings as eagles, simply because the hopes and dreams of Dr. King lives through you. The radical roar of Malcolm X screams by any means necessary. The vision of Dr. Carter G. Woodson is deep in your soul, illuminating your visual acuity. Frederick Douglass, Medgar Evers, invent like George Washington Carver. Reinvent like Fannie Lou Hamer. Remain grounded like Rosa Parks. Barbara Jordan turned pain into poetry like a Maya Angelou. Knock out oppression like Nika Giovanni and Muhammad Ali. Hit a home run and break barriers like Jackie Robinson. Pick up the baton and run your race like a Jesse Owens. Ladies, you ought to wear your crown and be a queen like Loretta Scott King. Maintain the audacity of hope like a Barack Obama. When they go low, you ought to go high like Michelle Obama. Represent for the people like Barbara Jordan. Rise to new heights like Dorothy Height. Turn pain into poetry like a Nikki Giovanni. Demand RESPECT like that singing sister soldier, Aretha Franklin. Get active and demand equal rights like a Fannie Lou Hamer. Because we didn't sing, we shall overcome. So that when we overcame, we forgot about those who still need to come over. Build on a solid foundation like Yvonne Price. Look at the clock and recognize it's your time like a Benjamin Banneker. Let your ideas be like a light bulb ignited by the filament of a Lewis Latimer. You're a modern-day Marcus Garvey, Nelson Mandela, Booker T. Washington, Stokely Carmichael. You come from kings and you showed up come from queens. Be the rose that grows through the concrete.